I'm James LoMenzo, and this is the new Aphex. I'm James LoMenzo, and I'm a bass player working out of Los Angeles, California. I've recorded and toured with some pretty notable artists. Artists like Megadeth, Black Label Society, Bobby Brown, DMC, Ozzy Osbourne, and the list goes on and on. During my time in Black Label Society, a friend turned me on to some really cool pedals made by Aphex. They were the Punch Factory compressor and the bass Xciter. And now Aphex has just upgraded them with a new design and new features that make them even more versatile. Let's take a closer look. Punch Factory, Aphex's new optical compressor pedal for 2011. Before we get too far, I guess I should describe what is a compressor. In the simplest of terms, a compressor is something that limits the dynamic range of audio. But what is dynamic range? With your voice, you can whisper very lightly, or you can scream very loudly. From the smallest whisper to the loudest scream, that is the dynamic range of your voice. Now, think back and remember the last time you were part of a large audience where there was someone speaking to the crowd. There were times when they spoke low, and there were times when they spoke loud. Sometimes when they spoke low, you couldn't understand what they were saying. But when they were loud, of course, you did understand what they were saying. So, if we used a compressor on that voice, it would bring the soft words up and the loud words down, giving us a very consistent level throughout, allowing us to hear every word. Now, take that theory and apply it to a guitar, or better still, a bass. There are times when you hit a chord a little lighter, and there are times when you hit a chord a little harder. Using a compressor, we can make sure that those chords are all consistent. Not only that, but when you strum a chord, not every note in the chord always rings as loud as the other. With a compressor on, every note in the chord will ring out loud and true, giving your instrument a very full and balanced sound. So, why an optical compressor? An optical compressor automatically adjusts its own attack parameter values depending on the input signal, meaning that it makes its own adjustments depending on your playing style. An optical compressor also works differently from other compressors because it uses a light source and a photocell. The harder you play, the brighter a little light bulb lights inside the unit. The greater the amount of light that the photocell sees, the more compression it adds to the signal. Rather than using off-the-shelf parts, the engineers at Aphex designed their own optical elements, specifically for the sound they were looking for, which was transparent and uncolored. In this way, your dynamic range is under control, but the compressor won't change the sound of your tone. Now let's check out the feature set of one of my favorite compressors, the Punch Factory. The input level control is the compressor's drive control. The higher you turn this up, the more compression will be added to the signal. For the very least amount of compression, leave the input knob all the way down. The ratio knob controls the amount of gain reduction of the compressor. If you turn the ratio knob all the way down, the compression ratio is 1.5 to 1. Meaning for every 1.5 dB to come in, only 1 goes out. If you turn it all the way up, it has a ratio of 10 to 1. Meaning for every 10 dB that goes in, only 1 goes out. So for very light compression, turn the ratio control all the way down. For heavier compression, turn the ratio knob up. The gain reduction meter gives you visual feedback of how much compression you're actually using. It'll show you anywhere from 2 dB to 20 dB of gain reduction. The output level control allows you to compensate for all the gain reduction that you've done. As a guideline, you'll want to set the output level control so the pedal is the same when the pedal is on or off. If you turn the pedal on and it's louder, you need to back off the output level. If you turn it on and the output is softer, then you'll need to turn the output level up a little. The input signal plugs into the right side of the pedal. Plug your guitar, bass, or whatever instrument here. The Punch Factory will sound best if it's the first pedal in your chain. I'd put it before a wah pedal, but after a tuner and a volume pedal. The output is on the left side of the pedal and will plug into your amplifier or the next pedal in your chain. A high-quality switch is provided so you can turn the pedal on and off. When the pedal is on, a small LED will light. Xciter. Xciter is also a new tone shaping pedal from Aphex for 2011. Xciter is a unique pedal that allows you to shape your tone with the creative use of harmonic generation, compression, and phase cancellation. You'll find it can make a bad amp sound good and a great amp sound amazing. Let's check out the feature set of Xciter. We start by setting the low frequency knob to set a low pass filter. Only frequencies below the low pass filter will be processed. You'll want to set this value high for electric and acoustic guitar, but lower for bass guitar. Then you use the low frequency boost knob to decide how much of those processed frequencies you want to add back to the main signal. Next, we use the high frequency knob to set the high pass filter. Only frequencies above the high pass filter setting will be processed. For acoustic guitar amps and bass amps with tweeters, you'll want to set the level fairly high. For guitar amps, you'll want to set this fairly low. Next, we use the high frequency boost knob to decide how much of those processed high frequencies we want to mix back with the main signal. This new Xciter replaces the previous bass Xciter, guitar Xciter, and acoustic guitar Xciter. The new harmonics knob allows you to set it for the instrument that you're using. While Aphex has designed these products to work well with these instruments at these settings, you can always try different settings for other instruments. There's no right or wrong to these settings. If it sounds good, go with it. The high-quality switch is provided to turn the pedal on and off. A small red LED will light to show you if the pedal's on or off. The input jack is on the right side of the pedal. The Xciter should be the last pedal in your chain before your amplifier. So plug the last pedal in your chain before the Xciter here. The output jack is on the left side of the pedal and should plug directly into the front input of your amplifier. The back panel features of both the Xciter and the Punch Factory are exactly the same. The DI is used when you're playing through a PA system. In a live performance scenario, your 1/4-inch jack will plug directly into your amplifier while the DI will plug into the mixer running your sound. This is most useful for acoustic guitars and bass players. The DI can also be used for recording. I do it all the time. What you're doing is taking the instrument level input and changing it to a mic level output. This allows the signal to be plugged into a mixer or a preamp. Keep in mind that the DI output is always processed, regardless of whether the pedal is on or off. The mixer or preamp can also send 48 volts of phantom power to the pedal over that cable, powering the pedal for you. So you don't have to use batteries or a power supply or nothing. On occasion, you'll get a hum in your system caused by the ground loop. By pressing the ground lift switch, usually you can get rid of the noise. Aphex wants me to tell you that they don't provide a power supply with the Xciter or Punch Factory because it can be used with batteries or phantom power. However, a standard 9-volt power supply can be plugged in here. Aphex recommends the Visual Sound 1 spot. It's an extremely clean power supply, and they also supply a daisy chain cable, allowing you to power your entire pedal board from this one power supply. On the bottom of the pedal, there's the battery compartment. You can easily open this and change the battery quickly, and trust me, that comes in handy. There's also a specific area provided for a Velcro strip, making it easy to mount the Punch Factory or Xciter to a pedal board. In fact, Aphex even provides a piece of Velcro for this purpose. Sweet. Lastly, you'll notice there's a place for rubber feet, but they are not attached. What up with that? If you're going to mount the pedal to a pedal board, you'll have to remove the feet anyway. I always do. So Aphex provides the rubber feet in the box so you can decide if you'd like to use them or not. Your pedal, your choice. And that'll do it for this training video. Get on down to your local Aphex dealer and check these pedals out. Tell them I sent you. And for more information, check out Aphex on the web at www.aphex.com.